A little over a week ago, I did a review of this speaker right here. This is the American Audio APX CS8, a really affordable $230 column array speaker that kind of blew my mind because of what you could get for the price. Now, around a year ago, I did a review of this speaker, which is the Avante Audio AS8, also a column array and also from a company owned by the ADJ group of companies. Now, both of these are very affordable column array options, but what makes this one cost more than this, and are these good contenders in the column array market? Today, I'm gonna do a video comparing and contrasting the two. I'm gonna talk about the specs and about the real world use that I've had with both of these, and let you know which one I think you should pick based on your business needs and whether or not they can stand up to the competition. Now, if you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you become one. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a comment and a like on this video. It helps the channel grow so I can keep bringing you these types of videos. Now, enough of that. Let's dive in to looking at these two column arrays. So I'm going to talk about both similarities and differences of these speakers. The first similarities being, one, they're very affordable as far as column speakers go, and two, they're both from the ADJ group of companies. American DJ owns Avante Audio as well as American Audio, and they're a company with a good reputation. Their products are well known and they're usually extremely well built value added products. Now, let's talk about the build of these speakers. First things first, the height. The American Audio APX CS8 comes in at 73 inches, so 1 inch over 6 feet, and the AS8 from Avante is 79.1 inches, so 6 inches taller. That could be good for getting over the heights, the heads of your crowd. That extra height might be beneficial to you. As far as the weight, the affordable CS8 comes in at 40 pounds and the a little more expensive AS8 comes in at 35 pounds. So surprisingly, the more expensive speaker is a touch lighter than the APX CS8. So something to keep in mind there. Now, power-wise, the amplifier in the CS8 is 100 watts, which is a figure that a lot of people were kind of shocked by because a lot of DJs focus too much on watts. The AS8 comes in at 250 RMS or 1000 peak watts. But in reality, watts don't matter, especially when it comes to volume levels. They just tell you how much power the speaker is pulling from the wall. But we can compare the SPL or dB levels, and the CS8 comes in at 108, which is not the highest. This speaker is going to be great for background or fill settings, coffee house, guitar, singer-songwriter type things, where the AS8 has a respectable 116. Now, it's not going to blow anyone's eardrums out, but this is enough, a pair of these, to probably do a small dance floor without issue. And I've done that, maybe 30, 40 people, no issue with that. They've got a good amount of output. 116 versus 108, that's a 9 or 8 decibel difference, which, right? Am I doing that right? 8 decibel difference. I can do math. That 8 decibel difference is almost a doubling in volume, so that is noticeable. In addition to that, when it comes to power, the AS8 can go a lot louder without clipping when compared to the CS8. You start to notice distortion in this before you do in the Avante. Now, as far as the drivers go, the more affordable CS8 has an 8-inch woofer, and actually they both have 8-inch woofers, but in the mids and the highs, the CS8 has 4 2.5-inch drivers, while the AS8 has 6 2 3/4-inch drivers. So not only does it have more, but they are a touch bigger. And this definitely comes through as far as the clarity and the fullness of the sound, as well as the ability to go loud without distortion. So you're getting more drivers and bigger drivers in the more expensive column array. Makes sense. The frequency response. Now, I could not find any frequency response for the CS8, which, they're not really focusing on that being a budget speaker. For the AS8, we do get figures of 55 hertz on the low end up to 20K on the high end. 55 isn't super deep extension, especially considering it's an 8-inch woofer, but, coupled with the floor, it's enough to do most pop music. A lot of hip hop and EDM are going to struggle. You're not going to get chest thumping bass with this, but it's a respectable, rounded frequency range. The CS8, just from personal experience listening to it, it's definitely not as punchy and deep as the AS8. And since I don't have frequency numbers for you, you're just going to have to kind of go off subjective experience. Now, the design of both speakers is very good, modern. They both look nice. The AS8 has a better fit and finish, I would say. The column does not wobble as much in the bass as the CS8 does, and the spacer pieces on the CS8, the more affordable one, are just more lightweight and feel a little bit plasticky and cheap, while the AS8 feels very solid and professional. Again, think about the price points, think about the intended uses. It kind of makes sense. When it comes to the mixer in the back, the affordable CS8 and the AS8 both are similar. They have two XLR and 1/4 inch inputs. On the CS8, they are separated, where on the AS8, they are a combo input. Now, they start to deviate here. We'll talk about the more affordable CS8 first. It has an aux input as well as a media player, and I've talked about the media player in the full review. Can play SDs, USB sticks, as well as Bluetooth. And the AS8 has, in addition to the combo inputs, it has separate stereo 1/4 inch inputs, a Bluetooth input, an aux input, but no media player. So I like the media player for backup. That's the one kind of win we can give to the APX CS8. It has that media player. I wish the Avante had it as well, but not the end of the world. More professional speakers, not gonna have all these kind of, I don't wanna say gimmicky, but kind of throw-in things that they put in the lower end speaker. Now, EQ wise, the CS8 has one single knob to adjust kind of bass boost or bass reduction for speech, where the Avante has a mid and a high, or excuse me, a low and a high kind of volume or EQ adjustment. Do you really need to? Probably not. I just give the bass a little boost and that sounds good to me, but more control, more adjustability can be good. Now, in use, I've already kind of alluded to how they sound, at least to my ears. I'm not gonna do an audio demo on this. You can go see the individual reviews to hear audio clips. It's just tough to convey over YouTube by the time the audio comes through this cheap mic in my camera and is compressed and uploaded and recompressed and, you know, comes out your speakers or headphones. It's just not gonna sound how these actually sound. But just general ideas. The CS8, being such an affordable speaker, the sound is good. It just has some frequencies that are just kind of low or missing. The mids feel a little bit sucked out. There is a respectable amount of low end in the CS8, especially when you bump up the bass boost knob just a touch. And to the average layperson, you know, if they're not A/Bing this against another speaker, they're probably not gonna notice. If you're a DJ and you listen to a lot of good audio equipment, you'll probably notice a difference in the sound. But as a fill, as a speech speaker, as just kind of backup or, you know, small venues, people probably aren't going to pay attention. Now, the AS8 has a very good sound, very full. It's on par with any other speaker at this price point that I've heard, and it's got the benefits of the column array, the wide dispersion, and the narrow vertical dispersion, or at least more so than a standard PA cabinet. And I think that's, you know, we owe that to the more mid and high drivers, the larger drivers, as well as just probably more expensive, more kind of upgraded driver quality in the AS8 over the CS8. Okay, so in my experience, you know, both acceptable audio quality, on par with any speaker in their price bracket, and probably some even a touch up. And so I can't fault them for sound quality in either. Now, when it comes to choosing one of these for yourself, I think the CS8, if you've seen my review on that, I don't recommend this as a DJ's main dance floor speaker. Unless you're doing extremely small, like garage parties, backyard parties for your friends, this is better served to be a cocktail hour speaker, a ceremony speaker, using it as a fill in a really long room where you just need to kind of project speech to the back. Things like that are really good for this. And if you're not a DJ, this is the speaker for your pool parties or for your garage workshop, things like that. I've used it for karaoke night in my house, which has been a huge hit. Now, the Avante AS8, I think this could do work as a DJ speaker if you know the limits. A crowd of, you know, 40, 50 people, which for me was a lot of weddings. I had that many people on the dance floor, even though there's maybe 100 in the crowd, 50 probably on the dance floor at any time. This could probably hold up. If you paired a pair of these with a subwoofer, even more so. But I think this has the sound quality and the output to handle small events. Now, don't go do huge weddings, don't go do school dances or college parties with this. People are gonna want more bass, they're gonna want more power. But, you know, just know the limits, apply the tool, the right tool for the job, and it will work well. So that's a quick comparison of the American Audio APX CS8 and the Avante Audio AS8. Both good speakers, both worth the money, good value for the dollar. Honestly, the Avante in particular, I'm surprised the speaker has not taken off. When it comes to lower end column arrays from the major brands, this thing competes at a lower price and sounds amazing and looks amazing while doing it. Now, one last thing to throw in as far as accessories, the AS8 from Avante does include a bag for the columns. It does not include a slip cover for the sub, but that usually doesn't come with speakers. The CS8 does not come with any sorts of bags or carrying cases. So I don't know if they're producing any or if there's even any plans, as far as I've heard, to produce them. So you're gonna have to find like a padded box or make your own slip cover for this one. This guy, you can at least get a bag for the columns, and then I think you can purchase a slip cover for the sub. Okay, so just wanted to throw that in because I think it's important. Now, if you want to pick up either of these, I've included, you know, links to American DJ's or American Audio and Avante Audio's website. You can go check these out there, or use your favorite retailer to buy from. I think they're both great products, and if you're new to columns or you just want to test the waters, this could be a great jumping off point. But thank you so much for watching today. If you're not a subscriber, come on and hit that button. It helps the channel out. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you next time.